It's a Friday night, it's about 9:30, and we've just had the annual general meeting of the Surrey Heath Conservative Association here in the Canal Suite at Lakeside in Frimley Green. So it's thanks to the generosity of Bob Potter that we're here. For those of you who are darts fans, you'll know that Lakeside is the home of the International Darts Championship every January, when hundreds of Dutch and Danes and other European followers of the Arrows come here in order to see the great game played. But it hasn't been Arrows at dawn. This evening it's been a lively discussion with lots of Conservative supporters, I think nearly 100 guys in the room, all of us thinking how we can make sure that at this general election Surrey Heath makes a difference. We're committed as a team to helping marginal seats, places like Winchester, Bristol East, Rossendale and Darwen and Hyndburn, where we've got fantastic candidates who are taking on a variety of sitting Labour and Liberal Democrat MPs. And as well as discussing how we're going to fight the general election campaign, we also discussed some of the local issues here in Surrey Heath that matter to voters, to make sure that the message that we're taking onto people's doorsteps in the course of the next 6 weeks is a message that resonates with the change that people want. This week, of course, has been budget week, and so everything revolved around Alistair Darling's performance. I have to say that I was surprised that Alistair Darling, who's I think probably one of the more honest and straightforward actually of Labour's cabinet ministers, missed his big opportunity. This was an historic moment for him, the final budget before the general election. Past Labour chancellors have used these occasions to do the right thing by the country and in the national interest, and have taken the sort of tough steps to put us on the road to recovery. He didn't do that this time. Instead, he just postponed some of the tough decisions that this country needs. We're going to carry on drifting until the general election. But the one good thing about the budget was that it just sharpened up the choice that the country faces. We just know that if we carry on with Brown and Darling, that we won't get the leadership and the change that we need. And David Cameron gave a performance in the 10 minutes that he had when he was replying, which just showed that he's got the energy and the commitment and the fire to take us in a different direction. So I think it was really a clarifying moment in the course of this campaign. The rest of the week I've spent trying to get our message across on education, and we've been seeing a little bit this week about how we might try to reform the curriculum and the exam system in order to try to ensure that teachers have greater freedom over how they teach, and the exams that our young people take are actually exams which are chosen in their interests rather than in any attempt to sort of, inflate the league table standing of schools. Well, I watched the Dispatches programme on Monday night, and I suspect, like most people, I was horrified. You had people who, whatever you think of them, had been cabinet ministers, some of the most talented people in the Labour Party, who were now behaving in a way that I think most people would have found, distasteful, grubby. I don't know the right word for it. It just made me feel terribly uncomfortable and sad. I don't begrudge people the opportunity after they've been in public service to move on to do something else with their lives. But the problem is that people were using their position as public servants for private gain. They were using, in one case, the access that they had to a body which was responsible for making our defence better in the future. They were using that access, being on a top NATO body, to try and sort of, shill for cash. I just don't think that's appropriate. And I think everything that that programme sort of encapsulated will have only reinforced people's sense that politicians live in a different world from the majority of ordinary people, and that they're only in it for themselves. And I think that's a great pity, because the overwhelming majority of people that I know in politics are people who are motivated by public service. And while of course they want to make sure that their families are well provided for, their first thought is doing the right thing by the people who vote for them. So it was just such a pity that some people fell for this trick, and in so doing, revealed a side of Westminster that I just hope that we can completely put behind us. Well, in a way, for me, the campaign's already started. So tomorrow, Saturday, I will be spending the morning campaigning in Battersea, and then on Sunday I'll be campaigning again, and then next week I will be in the House of Commons some of the time campaigning in Manchester, and the Easter weekend follows. The bad news is that I'll be spending Good Friday working with David Cameron, helping to prepare for the TV debates. Easter Saturday, I should be going up to a teachers' union conference in Birmingham. Easter Sunday, hooray, it's clear. And then Easter Monday, I've been told by George Osborne that I have to be in for a morning meeting at 6:30 a.m. So I'll have to make sure that I stock up on the Easter eggs on Sunday, because I'll need the energy for the week to follow.